Hey, I'm Cherie Yanek. I am here today to read to you Something Big Has Been Here. These are poems by Jack Prelutsky, and James Stevenson did the illustrations. And one of the reasons I like Jack Prelutsky's books is that he is so funny, so silly. So obviously this is a pretty thick book of poetry. I am not going to read it all. I picked out some of my favorite ones for you, so I hope you enjoyed them. And if you do like it, I really encourage you to go and purchase a copy of this book. You can also see if your local public library has it, if you want to kind of check out some of these poems. So I'm going to start with a remarkable adventure, and this is a good poem to read. Have you ever forgotten your homework? Maybe you might want to pull out this poem and send it to your teacher and see if that would be a good excuse. I don't know if they'd buy it, but it's pretty funny. I was at my bedroom table with a notebook open wide when a giant anaconda started winding up my side. I was filled with apprehension and retreated down the stairs to be greeted at the bottom by a dozen grizzly bears. We tumultuously tussled till I managed to get free. Then I saw with trepidation there were tigers after me. I could feel them getting closer. I was quivering with fear. Then I blundered into quicksand and began to disappear. I was rescued by an eagle that descended from the skies to embrace me with its talons, to my terror and surprise. But that raptor lost its purchase when a blizzard made me sneeze, and it dropped me in a thicket where I battered both my knees. I was suddenly surrounded by a troop of savage trolls who maliciously informed me they would toast me over coals. I was lucky to elude them when they briefly looked away. That's the reason that my homework isn't here with me today. Yeah, pretty silly. And if you've ever ate a baked potato, I'm pretty sure you haven't had the experience that Katie had when she ate her baked potato. Katie ate a baked potato strolling through the mews in her yellow elevator alligator shoes. You could see them right there. That was Katie's last potato she did not survive. Her elevator alligator shoes were still alive. So this one's called Sloth Song. And I went to Costa Rica and we saw some sloths, and it was very exciting because they don't move very much. They are very kind of lazy creatures. I think they sleep like 23 and a half hours a day. So this is a good poem that really captures the energy of sloths. I am a sloth. A sloth I am. I live in trees, but I can't fly. I do not run. I am so slow, but I am where I want to go. So that hopefully gives you the energy of what a sloth can really be like. So when I was younger, my sister had an ant farm, and so I really relate to this poem, so I hope you enjoy it too. It's called Who Pulled the Plug in My Ant Farm? And if you can imagine what it would be like if your ant farm got lost in your house. Who pulled the plug in my ant farm? Who let my ants get away? Their tunnels are almost deserted. I'm having a miserable day. They've gathered in groups in the corners. They're swarming all over the floor. For each one I get in my clutches, there seem to be 24 more. I'm doing my best to corral them. I doubt that I'll ever be done. There's nothing as hard to recapture as hundreds of ants on the run. My mother found ants in her slipper. My sister found ants in her shoes. They got in my father's pajamas. He bellowed, "I'm blowing a fuse!" Some have invaded the kitchen. They started attacking our food. My mother is shrieking in horror, and I'm in a horrible mood. Who pulled the plug on my ant farm, infesting our home with those pests? I have an unhappy suspicion that the ants are our permanent guests. That does not sound like some permanent guests I would like to have. And this last poem is for anyone who knows somebody who thinks they're good at fixing things, but they're really not. And it's called I Wish My Father Wouldn't Try to Fix Things Anymore. My father's listed everything he's planning to repair. I hope he won't attempt it, for the talent isn't there. He's tinkered with the toaster when the toaster wouldn't pop. Now we keep it disconnected because we cannot make it stop. He fiddled with the blender and he took a clock apart. The clock is running backward and the blender will not start. Every window pane he's puttied now admits the slightest breeze, and he's half destroyed the furnace. If we're lucky, we won't freeze. The TV set was working, yet he thought he'd poke around. Now the picture's out of focus and there isn't any sound. There's a faucet in the basement that has dripped one drop all year. Since he fixed it, we can't find it without wearing scuba gear. Right there. I wish my father wouldn't try to fix things anymore, for everything he's mended is more broken than before. If my father finally fixes every item on his list, we'll be living in the garden, for our house won't exist. And that was a pretty silly one. And I actually have one more I forgot. If you've ever wanted a pet and you've tried to persuade your parent, this is somebody who's trying to do the same thing. It's called I Want a Pet Porcupine Mother. I don't think a porcupine's the best pet. I want a pet porcupine mother, I said to her early today. She chuckled. It's out of the question. I wish you would go out and play. Then, mother, I want a gorilla, or else I would like a giraffe. She answered without hesitation. Ridiculous. Don't make me laugh. Then, mother, I want an iguana, a burro, a boar, or a bear. She seemed to start growing impatient. She shouted, Get out of my hair! Then, mother, I want a pet lion. I'm certain a lion would do. I take him for walks every Sunday to visit her friends at the zoo. You can't have a lion, she told me. Be glad with the pet that you've got. I guess we're just keeping the rhino. She's always like Rona a lot. Bit of a surprise ending. This has been Something Big has been here, and this is by Jack Prelutsky. Thank you for listening, and keep on reading.